Hey everyone, it's Daniel, and welcome to another vinyl video. Before I start off my last video, which I just uploaded last night, it was made a week ago. If you've seen it or you do see it, believe me, it looked terrible. The quality was really bad, and I should have worked on a little bit more on it, and I wasn't really too happy with that video. It just looked terrible, and as you can see, I have a light shining so that way you can actually see the front cover of the albums, which was really bad because people also want to see the cover but they can't see it, so I apologize if you see it. It's just my way of learning with quality and everything, learning everything I should know. And, well, this is the second video, and hopefully I can get this right. Like I said, I'm using my lantern actually just to use as a production light. I mean, it's just to help get better lighting. So hopefully, I can try to avoid putting a glare in my video off these albums. So this weekend on Saturday, as I went out to do some errands, and my dad had finally got his old records out of the closet, which was great because I've been wanting to listen to him for a long time now. It's been years since I've seen him, and boy, I forgot how much he had, and I forgot what these albums looked like until now. And believe me, it was refreshing to see it again, and probably like that. Seeing these albums was like seeing it for the first time again. It's great. It made my day. It really did. So, but before I start, I just want to remind you, like, I haven't heard every single one of them yet, but and I would call this a update or whatever, but we've been had these albums, so this gives me a chance to really show you. So let's get to it. Okay, this one, oh man, I can't wait to hear this. I don't know what to expect, but it's Molly Hatchet, Flirting with Disaster, and believe me, I can't wait to hear this because I mean, look at this. I mean, look at this. I mean, it just that's a great cover. I mean, there's even cooler covers on albums, but this one pretty much kicks ass. I mean, look at that. This is big and big, well, intimidating looking guy. I mean, are you sure it's not Thor's father? You know, before he had Thor. I mean, I know that's a stupid way to. That sounds stupid. Yeah. So with that, yeah, it's really cool looking. I can't wait to check it out. So I'm excited to hear some of these, and I already heard one of them so far, which I'll eventually get to. So we got now this one is another one I can't wait to hear. Like like I said, Betty, I'd say repeat myself for every vinyl. I'm just gonna say I can't wait to hear all of these actually, but this next one here is Eddie Money, and some some of you guys might only know him for "Take Me Home Tonight," which was a hit in the '80s. But people who do know, obviously Eddie Money's well known, but doesn't get talked about as much, I don't think. So it'll be really exciting to see what kind of songs he has on here. I mean that's classic right there. That's old school rock and roll right there. Well, '70s at least. This it's, what can I say? It screams its decade. So that should be fun to listen to. Now this one is Ram by Paul McCartney, and what can I say? I like Paul McCartney and I like John Lennon. I know there's people out there who love John Lennon. There's people out there who just despise him for obvious reasons. You know, the nonsense with the getting with Yoko and all that craziness. I mean, I can't, I want to agree, but you gotta think his actions were in the past. You know, before he died, but I can't really prove if he was really being truthful or just full of it. No one really knows, but like no one, there's all these speculations and stuff, and I can't prove it. Like I told my brother's father, like no one really knows for certain what happened behind closed doors and what he was doing most of the time. But you know, despite all that, he really did leave such an impact in music, along with Paul McCartney, Ringo Starr, and George Harrison, and the well, obviously we all know they all went solo, every single one of them. George didn't really have as much luck, like successfully as Paul McCartney or John Lennon, but you know something. I want to get the album that has maybe I'm Amazed and Silly Love Songs. Like I really like those songs, and I like the Beatles. I mean, who can argue with that? I mean, so not it's a very interesting, strange looking cover to me at least. Well, at least it actually has a ram. So and I don't know. I like this color scheme. Like I don't know. I really think it's a weird but kind of interesting cover. And on the back, you got a picture of him, Linda, and his kids right there. Trying to avoid the glare, so you got he he really was something else, and Paul, even to this day, is still going strong, even at his age. So good for him. Now, now, if Lennon wasn't assassinated back in 1980, who knows what could have been in his later years. No one knows. Would he have actually been a part of the Beatles reunion? Because like during the time when after they broke up, everyone kept on asking when are you getting back with the Beatles, and well, it's clear that he didn't want to do it no more during that time for a bunch of reasons. He just wanted to take a break. But Paul McCartney, a very good singer, very good artist, and I like him. Uh, Don't we all love the Beatles? Now this one is a group called UFO, and the album is called The Wild, The Willing, and The Innocents. I don't know what to expect from this, but my dad was looking at them too. The album, he says these are good. He said they're good. So if my dad thinks they're good, then I won't doubt him. So I'm more than welcome to give it a listen. So I don't know. Can someone try to? I'm looking at this cover and you know something. I can't even really make out what I'm seeing. I see a hand and whatnot. I don't know about this one. I mean it's I can't really make out what's going on here. Can you? So and in the back is I can't even tell which body part this is, to be honest with you. It's really really up close, but it looks like a branding of the word of UFO on this person's body. So let's see what kind of songs they have on here. Chains, Long Gone, The Wild, the Willing, and the Innocent, which is the name of the album was obviously as well. It's Killing Me, Making Moves, Lonely Heart, Couldn't Get It Right, Professor of. Okay, so, I didn't even notice that before. Yeah, as you can see, they're really worn because they're really old, and these were my dad's for years. Yeah, you can tell it's aging, so you can see the wear and tear on these. But as long as the records are still good, that's all that matters. Now, this one, I'm definitely certain that I wasn't expecting this when I found this in the pile in the in the collection because I forgot that my dad had this album, and it has Neil Young's Harvest, and it has the song Old Man, which is a really nice song, and my dad says every time he hears it, it'll make you tear up. He said because it makes him think of his own dad who passed away when he was only 14 and never really got to meet the guy. Never got a chance to know what he would have been like if he were alive. But it's when you hear certain songs, it makes you think of certain people, and it says a lot about someone when they hear a song and it hits them in a certain way. And it's that's what's the beauty of music. It can evoke so many emotions. It can make you laugh, make you cry, make you think. There's so many emotions you can get from it, either good or bad. And but it's the good that really overtakes everything. When we but what's our opinion? What's considered good and what we think is deep? It's really just a point of understanding what the words are being said and the music that goes along with it. You can make it something really meaningful, and it'll have you think about a person or a time in your life. I think that's why I think Old Man by Neil Young really much really tells you about what he must have been who he was thinking about when he wrote that, when he was singing it. And Neil Diamond's cool. He was always a good musician. So I say, like, I just wish there was more meaning in mainstream music. I mean, they do exist. I mean, for example, Kesha. I mean, granted, I'm not her biggest fan, and I wasn't really too crazy about her early stuff, considering it was just trash. Though I have a guilty pleasure as well because they're kind of catchy. But when she came back after a long period of not making any albums because of her producer or something like that. I forgot who. I'm sorry if I got it wrong, so I apologize. But it was somebody that she worked with when she was making, like, I never knew how tragic her time was in the limelight when she started out. You wouldn't think because she was always making these silly, over the top, intentionally bad, if that's what she was going for, pop songs that were dancing, trashy and everything. But I will admit her music did get a little better with time. But when she made "Praying," that was something I did not expect from her. And when she sings, she can sing. So it took me by surprise, but hopefully one day I can talk about that a little more in depth. But so I don't want to go off track. So this one is a compilation album called The South's Greatest Hits, and it is really southern looking. and it has artists like the Allman Brothers Band, Greg Allman, the Amazing Rhythm Aces, the Atlanta Rhythm Section, Elvin Bishop, the Charlie Daniels Band, Dr. John, Leonard Skinner, the Marshall Tucker Band, Outlaws, and Wet Willie. Now, I am very familiar with the Outlaws. That my dad actually has. I actually have it somewhere in my room. Sorry about that. Itchy. Yeah, and Allman Brothers. There are some good names on here. I mean, my dad. I don't know if he heard this one and forgot who was in it. But you know something, I'm excited to say that whatever songs are on this thing, I'm pretty sure there's probably some good southern rock music to enjoy. But we'll see. Now, here's another Neil Diamond album, Russ Never Sleeps. And it's Neil Diamond and Crazy Horse. And it's all. I'm really interested in wanting to know what to expect from this, and I think it's a live album. It doesn't say it's live, but according to this cover, it clearly is, so. Well, this was. I'm curious about what year this was released. Can't really see too good without glasses. I do wear glasses, I just haven't worn them in a long time because all kinds of craziness happened. Well, I'm not gonna waste time looking for the date because I can always look on the internet for that, but yeah, don't want to make too much of a spectacle. Now this album is Foghat, Stone Blue. Now, I'm familiar with the name, so I never heard any of the songs before, at least not from my knowledge. But I don't know why. I like what this says on the back right here. When I was stone blue, rock and roll sure helped me through. That is some awesome words right there, actually, because that is pretty good. I like that. Because, you know, you got. Sorry about that. I was looking at the cover and yeah, I wish I could say more about it, but like I said, like I said before, like I had to take time and listen to every single one of them. So that should be interesting. And we have Grand Funk live album, and it's a double album actually, which is pretty cool. And which reminds me, I gotta clean these albums. Like, sorry about that. It got something stuck in my teeth. I had to brush my teeth, but anyway. Yeah, this is. I am familiar with the name Grand Funk. I've heard about them like a lot, and I am sure that there's gonna be some exciting, some awesome rock and roll ahead of me, and that's the way I like my music. Uh, Songs. Let's see what the songs are on this live album. Introduction. Are You Ready? Paranoid. In Need. I'm sorry. Heartbreaker. Inside Looking Out. Words of Wisdom. Mean Mistreater. Mark says, alright, TNUC, into the sun. Now, what was I going to say? There's a good chance I probably did hear one of the songs before and just don't remember which one it was. But I'm certain it should get me going, because if my dad has all these awesome looking albums, he must obviously know some good stuff right here. And speaking of Grand Funk, here's another album. And if you look close, you can see some old dark stains. I don't know what happened there, but like I said, these albums been around, been all over the place. And this is Phoenix. That's what this album's called. And you got the most 70s looking image of any rock band: shirtless, long hair, and just looking cool. And yeah, right. See, you got the flames. You got this. The artwork is pretty nice, actually. So, oh, so yeah. Can't wait to check this out. I know I keep saying that a lot, so I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself. I'm sorry. I gotta stop doing that. Now, I've heard this before when I was a teenager, and it's for those who are about to rock. You know, AC/DC being AC/DC. It was good. And so this was a pretty cool album from what I remember. And you got the main album. Sorry. For those who are about to rock, we salute you, which is obviously the name of the album, of course. Evil Walks, COD, Spellbound, Put the Finger on You, Let's Get It Up, Inject the Venom, Breaking the Rules, Snowballed, Night of the Long Knives. This is AC/DC with their with the formula that they're best known for. It's pure rock, and it's pure rock right here. And I know a lot of people will say they do always sound the same in every album. Good point. It always sounds like it should be just one long album. But sometimes that's okay, because that's their signature sound, and I couldn't imagine them trying. I just don't see AC/DC as experimental with other styles. What they are best with is what you get. What you see is what you get. So, I got no complaints about them. Now, this album is The Who's Next. I forgot my dad owned a Who album. I was thinking about getting one day. And looks like I didn't have to worry about buying a copy, because I already have this album already. It's amazing what you find, like a time capsule that you haven't seen in years. So it was beautiful. I got excited when I saw this, because it has a lot of great songs on it. At least I heard the side one earlier, and after hearing the sounds and everything, I remembered to clean it, because it's very noticeable. But just the very beginning of Baba O'Riley as the starting track is just exciting, because you know it's a song that just stands the test of time, especially of the back in the 70s. It's just one of those mainstays in rock and roll history and classic rock, and I always loved this song, Baba O'Riley. It's a classic. And Bargain, Love Ain't for Keeping, My Wife, song is over. All these are good songs. Like I said, I only heard the side one before, but probably later on I'll finish the rest of the album because I was in the middle of trying to get things going. But on the other side, you got Getting in Tune, Going Mobile, Behind Blue Eyes, and no, we're not talking about Limp Bizkit. Because, oh my gosh, they're awful. And I hated their version until I heard The Who's original and realized it's not the song, it's the band that was playing it. Mostly because you have Fred Durst, and ugh, can't believe I actually used to listen to him when I was a kid, but let's be honest here. I still have some songs on my phone I listen to as for nostalgic reason. I don't know why I'm torturing myself with that nonsense. But yeah. And so yeah, Behind Blue Eyes is a beautiful song. Won't Get Fooled Again, which everybody knows about. Yeah, this is probably The Who at their most biggest. I mean, they have a lot of great albums. Don't get me wrong, but in my mind, from what I said, I think this album, Who's Next, was the pinnacle of their hits, like of that time period. It's just something that stands the test of time, and it's just amazing how rock music evolved and how much it gave us for many, 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 many years since the very beginning of its existence. And wow, it's just amazing though. That's why I appreciate music so much. It's just the evolution of what stuff can be created and how much it will evolve in the decades that will come. Which reminds me, here's this little strange experimental album from 1966. Now, it's an album called The In Sound from Way Out. Oh, you ain't kidding. It's stereo. It is by Perry Kingsley. Probably somebody knows who that is, and I haven't really know much about them. This is probably the only one I know them for, but I'm pretty sure there's others out there that might have heard of these guys. Like I said, it's electronic pop music of the future created by. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe, I will say, maybe it was ahead of its time. But let's be realistic here. It shows its age when you hear, like, it's very 60s sounding, but it's avant-garde type of style music, and it was very fascinating, to be honest. Like, because I've been wanting to check this out for a long time, because the last time I tried listening to it, I just couldn't get into it. I was like, what, 13, 14, so I really didn't really appreciate it for what it was for the time period. Because in my mind, I'm thinking, oh, it's going to sound some like a trance song, or a music of, like, similar to today, and boy, was I a dumb kid. But I was just, like I said, I was young, I didn't understand evolution, obviously, in music. But I got older and started, well, actually learning about this stuff and actually being more open-minded. Yeah, there isn't much of a cover, but... And, yeah, when I say it's probably got some really bizarre sounding music, it does. You got, what can I say, a song that actually has that baby sound sample. If you heard it, you'll probably know what I'm talking about. I would try to emulate it, but my voice can't go that high. I mean, after all, I did go through puberty like a long time ago, so can't get higher than that, but I'll try. No, that sounds horrible. That's horrible, but like I've heard it in a song by Aaliyah. Are you that somebody or someone? And and I heard it there when I was young for the first time. Then I eventually would hear it in Prince's song Delirious at the very end. on the 1999 album, and it's on this album. And I'm thinking, how long have people been using the sample? It's just so out of context, but I think it was completely out there on this album because it was so bizarre. I actually had some laughs with it. It was just very enjoyable, and I'm glad to check it out. And I like experimental music, and that, like I said, that was an introduction to what each genre from before that evolves by mixing different styles and eventually creating a new thing. And it can be really hard nowadays to try to do something like that, but it can happen. I mean, we had dubstep and hard rock, Korn, but that was just terrible. I don't care for dubstep personally. It's just, I'm so glad it's pretty much died out the way it did. I'm pretty sure it's, at least in the mainstream, I could never get into it. I just never got the appeal of that. It was just a messy sounding. Except for Blackmill. I mean, they have a dubstep-ish sound to them, but it's more of a chill step type of sound, and I don't mind it because Mill has really pretty mellow songs, and it's beautiful. Let It Come and Let It Be. That's a nice song, and Miracle. If you're into some kind of chill type of music, I say check out Blackmill. They're really are very good, and it's just like something you can listen to at night, laying in bed, or just while doing something like reading or playing a game or whatever. So I say check them out. And the last one I'm going to show you is the Jay Geils Band, Hotline. Now, I am familiar with them. I know for a fact they're the ones who made Love Stinks, which is a well-known one. But please correct me if I'm right. Correct me if I'm wrong, and please, I hope I'm right. I know I'm certain. They made Angel of the Centerfold, if I'm not mistaken. Was that them? Like, I'm pretty certain it is, because I'm a little rusty because I have so much knowledge, so much memory of all types of music. It's really hard to keep up with what certain songs were made by, but I'm pretty positive it is the same band. And yeah, when you pull it out, pick up the phone. It's for you, and hang it up on the telemarketer. And now look at this. I like this. This is pretty funny. It's the band in animated form as cartoons, so that's what you did. And from the music I heard, it just makes sense to me. And well, I don't know. I actually like this one. It's just interesting. I don't know. I like this cover. You couldn't do this on a CD format version of this album, but with this, this is what makes vinyl very special in a lot of ways. Like just the more creativity in your artwork, and when you look inside the album's artwork, you get some amazing, interesting stuff. And see the difference between this and CD formats, like it just doesn't have all that awesomeness that vinyls provide. And what can I say? Like vinyl, when it comes to album covers and stuff, it looks great in my opinion. It looks a lot better, and it just has that look to it. That just makes you want to buy it. Sounds weird, probably. Maybe it's just me, but I see that there's people out there who just will be turned on just by seeing a album cover that catches their eye, and they just become curious. That's the beauty of discovering new music, especially in the old days. And if you're a person that goes to a thrift store or whatever, and they have something that catches your eye, and being it really cheap, You don't have to feel like you've been ripped off. It's just just an interest, like, and see what you expect from it. That's the ultimate. That's the element of surprise right there, because you get more what you bargained for, and wow, lots of music. Well, that's all I have, and I would say that next time I'm gonna show more, because I got plenty to go through. So hopefully you guys have a wonderful night, day, or morning, or whatever you see this, and you take care.